Welcome to DeTalks with Allison.
Oh shit, we're recording.
You are the best podcast naming person.
This is the show where we sit down with comedians and other funny people, make them take their vitamins, and ask them about their life or whatever else we get into.
Let's hope Charlie got it right this time.
It ain't easy being Charlie.
It ain't easy being Charlie. Hey guys, welcome to DeTalks with Allison. I just love seeing everyone's reaction to that last line.
You're such a nice guy. I've never had any, I've seen you around Vulcan, and you're just you're...
Maybe that's how he gets you, though.
Yeah.
You know what
He's a trickster.
Fucking Bruce Wayne over here.
Maybe.
Okay, I don't trust him. The way he said maybe, I definitely don't trust you
The
now.
problem with Charlie is that he's usually the smartest person in the room, so you know he actually could pull some shit if he wanted to.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I definitely don't trust smart people, so that's... I'm watching him.
I feel dissed by that somehow. Like just put this.
Oh, you're saying because I trust you, you think you're not
You
smart?
say you don't. You say what'd you say?
I don't trust smart people.
You around me all the time. So what the fuck does that
she's
mean?
like, I'm smart.
Either I don't trust you or I don't think you're smart. I'm fucked
know.
either way. God
Either
damn
way.
it.
Charlie, you're breaking up some happy
How
people.
dare you, Charlie? How dare
How
you?
long? 58 seconds into it? Is that
58 seconds
Yeah.
into it. We need couples therapy already. It's all
Jesus
Charlie's
Christ.
fault.
Help me, Yanla, fix my life.
Who? Who?
Yanla.
Yanla.
It's a
Who the
real
fuck?
person.
Well, I don't know
Yanla?
this. Who is that?
Yanla Van Zant, beloved. She is one of Oprah's homies.
Oh, okay.
I don't trust that for sure. Oprah's friend? I feel like
I
she
wouldn't
didn't
say
have
they friends. They
Oh.
homies and business partners.
Gotcha.
They had a rough patch. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? She not Gail status at all. You know what I'm
gotcha.
Damn.
saying? Shout out to Yanla.
We'll make that clip and you can tag her and we'll get the attention.
Okay. Yeah, on the O network or something.
Right.
That black lady is serious. She can make you cry. Like ugly tears.
Is she like one of those therapists that just wants to see tears?
I mean, it's good for ratings.
Right,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
Like, and you got some people that fight up against her and buck back, but it's like, we there for the tears. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like those judge shows. Like nobody wants just a normal
Normal
judge
resolution.
court case or something. No,
Yeah.
it's like I want people yelling. I want you bringing up bullshit that is not even related to the case. Personal beef.
Some of them are just straight up hilarious, like Judge Mathis.
Yeah.
You,
something.
sir, are crackhead.
Yeah. No
You
holds barred.
do crack, and that's your problem. I'm like, damn, I never knew that, sir.
It's like you're seeing me about your divorce, but the problem is the drugs. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. That's a good point. Can I see the pen real quick? While we're-
Jesus. I don't know what you're talking about,
I don't know what
officer.
I'm talking about either.
It's nicotine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the show, guys. I'm excited to have both of you on. We got Markus Olind and Genivieve Clinton here in the house.
Hello.
What's up?
Hell yeah. So okay, this is a comedy podcast, but I'm just
Sure.
super curious about both of you, like together and individually, because you're both comedians. Where did you guys I want to hear from each of you. Like, where did you start comedy?
I would love to hear him because the story changes every time.
Oh,
so
shit.
Just go ahead and
No. Wait, where we started comedy.
Where you started comedy?
Yeah. It's
Where you
not
started
where
comedy,
we met
and then we'll
started.
get to where you met because I do want to hear that too.
Okay, so individual stories. Go ahead. Yeah.
I started comedy in Michigan, outside of Detroit, like in Ann Arbor was where I first started comedy, and then I was,
Comedy hotspot Ann Arbor.
I know, yeah. That's where I did like my first couple mics, and then
Yeah.
I did like the first 4 years in Detroit. Then I went out to LA for 3 months right before the pandemic,
Mm.
and then I went back to Michigan during the pandemic, and then we ended up moving down here last year. We came down to Dallas for 4 months, and then we moved to Austin. So we've been here for 6 months. So
Okay, yeah.
But I'm coming up on 6 years total doing comedy. So.
Doing comedy.
Yeah.
Very cool. What about you, Genevieve?
Started in Minnesota
Mm-hmm.
and couldn't tell you the clubs names, but like I did my first like 5 mics around there, and then took a break, and then I went hard in Detroit and surrounding areas, Midwest. We did Canada, and
Chicago.
that's Midwest. And then
Just trying to get specific. I'm sorry.
Pacific. And then same went out to LA for like 2 months with him, and then now we're here. So
Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by MSW Nutrition. You know those frilly looking cocktails we're always drinking on the show? That is from them. That is their Boost product. And MSW Nutrition is a supplement line designed to help support your body in as many ways as possible, starting with the liver. Liver health is really important, and a lot of people don't know this, but by helping to repair liver health, you're supporting your body's biggest detox organ so that it can do its job taking care of the rest of you. I always like to talk about this as if it's like an air filter. You got your air filter for your AC unit. Once that gets dirty, yeah, it kind of still works, but you need to change it out every once in a while, or at least clean it. The liver is the same way. Once you start detoxifying the liver, it makes weight loss, hormone balance, all those health goals be a ton easier. So really, really cool that they start by targeting the liver. There's all sorts of supplements by MSW Nutrition. They've got some for mood, stress, energy, weight loss, gut health, immunity, and other things like anti-aging, all the stuff that you want. It's probably on there. Any product carrying the MSW Nutrition label will be produced in FDA certified labs, and it will contain the most bioavailable version of those nutrients possible. That's the other thing a lot of people don't think about with their supplements is there's several different forms of any different nutrient. And a lot of supplement companies cut corners by producing the cheapest one, which usually is absorbed by the body the least. So MSW Nutrition makes sure that they are using the one that your body will absorb the best. So make sure to check out their website at mswnutrition.com to see all the latest stacks to help you reach whatever your health goals are. And if you make sure to use the code DETALKS, that is DETALKS, at checkout, you can save 15% on anything you buy. That is code DETALKS, DETALKS. And yeah, you're going to love it. Also want to give a shout out to MSW Health Lounge in Westlake Hills, Texas. That is on the west side of Austin. They are the guys that let us use their How Do You Health studios for our podcast, and they hook us up quite literally with vitamin IVs anytime myself or a guest wants one. These guys follow the same principles as MSW Nutrition, as you can probably tell. They started the supplement line, and they're amazing. They know so much shit about nutrition and health in general. If you are looking for vitamin IVs of top quality, and quite honestly, the cheapest around, check out MSW Health Lounge in Westlake Hills, Texas, and let them know I sent you. DeTalks is produced and sponsored by Big Laugh Comedy. Big Laugh Comedy is changing the world one comedy experience at a time. Big Laugh Comedy is the first ever company that provides you with a complete comedy experience, from live shows throughout Texas in Austin, San Antonio, San Marcos, and Fort Worth, to comedy news and everything in between. If you're looking to laugh your ass off with some of the best comedians in the world, or you want to know what your favorite comedian is up to, you need to visit Big Laugh Comedy at blcomedy.com. Get exclusive content and first dibs on tickets by becoming a VIP for free. Go to blcomedy.com/VIP-list.
Damn. So did you guys, like, how long have you guys been together?
About 3 years.
3 years.
A little bit of change, something like that.
Cool. So you've been together the whole time that you guys, like, the whole time you guys have been together, both of you have been doing comedy.
Yes, we met doing comedy in Detroit. You saw me at a mic, right? That I did not see you at, but you said you saw me there at They Say. And then I saw her for the first time at Punchline Comedy Lounge in Detroit. And we talked a little bit and exchanged Instagram stuffs. Then a little DMs back and forth, and then you started coming to my open mic that I was hosting in Detroit, and then we talked more, and then we got the phone numbers, and then...
What is this voice?
Progressed it.
What voice? It's...
Is this a storytelling voice?
Is it? I don't even know. I thought I was just talking. Am I doing a voice?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went down.
Yeah.
What is that voice?
Huh?
I'm kidding.
So, like, it's such a thing in comedy that, like, people are always like, don't date comedians.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that until way after.
Way after. Okay, I wasn't sure. Like, yeah, was that ever even a concern to you guys, really?
After, I was like, oh, shit. I see they point. But like, I don't know. It's kind of like, since I've been taking comedy seriously, it's kind of all I've known. So
Yeah.
it's just, I feel like you progress in both simultaneously or
Yeah.
fuck up in both simultaneously.
The other thing is, a lot of people who say don't date comics are like broken comics who are just like without comedy they would have nothing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and their relationships are terrible. That's why they do comedy. They're damaged people, and they're like telling you who not to date.
What I was thinking is like, is part of it too, because the fear is like one of you is going to succeed in comedy and the other one isn't, because both of you guys are very funny. Like, so I think like that isn't as big of an issue where it's like, if you're dating someone when you both started comedy and then one of you like gets success and the other one could get jealous, like I think that's a big concern too, but that's not the case with you guys because you're both funny.
I think the bigger thing that I've heard is like more material based, like what you can and can't talk about.
Because people know.
But the other thing is like Jeff Horst and Esther, they're LA comics. They're both really funny. I've talked to Jeff about it, and he's like, I can't see not dating a comedian. So I've
Right.
seen like both sides of it. I mean, Tom Segura's
yeah,
dating
I
Christina
mean, there's
Pete.
definitely.
That's a comedy couple. Like it can be
Right.
done. You
Was
know
it
what I
like
mean?
Sam Morril and Taylor Tomlinson too? Like,
I didn't even know that.
yeah, there's several that are kind of like on the up and up, or they're already higher profile. And
Mm.
I don't know. I just found it so interesting when I first started comedy. That was like one of the first things people warned me against. And to me, I understand the opposite point. Like, I can't imagine not dating a comedian.
Right.
Because like I'm not dating a comedian, but my boyfriend like handles any shit that I talk as if he were a comedian. So to me, it's like you at least need a regular person who can handle the roasts and the possible jokes about them on stage.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think looking like I feel like you talk more about relationship material than I do.
Yeah, but you got a lot of white man jokes.
I don't have a lot to
Is it just two?
count.
They're long jokes though. There's a lot of punchlines in those jokes.
They're good jokes.
Yeah, whatever. You talk way more about the relationship, and this is what most people hear now is like edited. Like he used to throw a whole bunch of shit in there that I'd be like, "Are you you went to U of M and graduated with honors, like, and you don't register that this is not good? Like, okay."
I thought it might be funny. I was going for
And that's an excuse that you got to get to all the time too. Like, we got to go for the funny, got to go for the
Right.
funny. But sometimes funny don't always work.
Right.
You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
get where because like I guess if I was to say like the biggest issue now that I keep talking about, but I don't know how to solve myself, so it's like I'm yelling at a wall. Is like connection. It's like how more connected can you be? We do the same thing. We hustle the same way every day. Just like how more connected can you get than that? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. But it's something, goddamn it. But yeah, it's really cool having a partner in crime during this thing because it's like you get tested and learn new shit and new shits arise like all the fucking time. And it's like I'm pretty damn glad that I don't have to do it by myself.
Yeah.
So
The other thing I always see is like when you're starting comedy, a lot of times like a dude comic will bring his girlfriend who's not a comic to an open mic and she'll sit through 3 hours of terrible comedy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's abuse. Like
That's awful.
that relationship is not gonna last. And you see week after week she'll come and then she just stops coming at one point and is like, hey, are you guys okay? She's like, yeah, we're still dating. She just doesn't want to come anymore. I'm
Right.
like, I fucking get it. So it's nice like we go to the mics together. we
'Cause
go
you're
to the
both
show-
working.
Yeah, it's like we're both trying to do the same thing. So
Right.
kind of what you were saying. But yeah, I mean the opposite where it's like you're not dating a comic. Or I mean when a female comic brings her dude
Yeah.
and then she's up there talking about all kinds of raunchy
Shit
ass
with
shit
him.
and you just look at that dude like that's your girl up there, right?
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I definitely have a pretty nasty joke about my boyfriend, but it's like the one joke that I talk about him in.
But he has a good sense of humor.
But he has a good sense of humor, and also I never wanted anyone to come to open mics. Like, I kind of knew from the get go that like this was supposed to be rehearsal, and if I'm not dating a comedian, I'm not gonna make the person I'm dating sit through that. And I think that's kind of a lack of awareness for certain people, where it's like, maybe your girlfriend does want to come hang out once in a while at the mic, but to me, I was like, I barely want to be here, so I'm not going to make you sit through this. Like, you're only allowed to come to shows.
I mean, sometimes they're like, I want to be supportive. Maybe they
Yeah.
both work, so they, their nighttime is their together time. And
Yeah.
this guy's like, well, I want to go do a mic. I want to spend time with you too. Can you come with me?
Let's
And
do
then it
it.
turns into this shit show of 3 hours of dick jokes, and she's like, I can't do this anymore. And I feel bad for both of them. I really feel bad for her more than the guy, but
Do you
it is
guys
what it
have
is.
like some really terrible, like, what's your worst memory that you can think of at an
Chicago.
open mic? Oh, shit.
At an
2000.
open mic? Oh,
Here we go.
God.
Or a show. Yeah, whatever.
What year was it? 2019, 18? Chicago.
2019, yeah.
Oh, Chicago.
September. It was probably
You guys
almost
are
2
recounting
years
a
ago.
war story.
It was almost, what is today, the 21st or something? 22nd?
22nd,
This
yeah.
was almost exactly 2 years ago. We went to Chicago, and the plan
Hurt
was,
like it was yesterday.
yeah. The plan was, and we followed the plan, was to sleep in my minivan for those 2-3 days in
Right.
just parking lots, right? Because we're gonna go to LA and do that, right?
Yeah.
Live in the van life. And 3 days in the van in Chicago in September can suck ass. So.
Was it cold already, or was it?
It wasn't like this. It was a little chillier,
Okay,
and Chicago has some rough areas, and it was,
That's the Texan in me, where I'm like, is it cold in September in Chicago?
it can get a little.
I can't
chilly,
imagine.
especially at night. But also, it's just like living in a van sucks.
Yeah.
And then doing it with 2 people really, really sucks. But I'm assuming are you bringing up the?
Oh yeah. So what happened was I was not feeling it that day. It just was not a good day.
Right.
And so, I was like, maybe it'll turn around at the nighttime. I shouldn't have went on stage because I should have took the sign from the shitty day that
Right.
maybe you'd sit this one out. But I was like, no, and this is what I came here to do. And so all black crowd, just niche, just got off of working with Kevin Hart and everything like that. Don't know me
Jeez.
from nobody.
Right.
Full black crowd, beautiful brown faces everywhere with a scatter of 3 to 4 white peoples, 5 including Marcus. And then I went up there and I said some dumb shit off top that just made them. I've never been scowled at. Like, God
Dude.
damn. Scowl. And I got off stage and like a couple of people was being petty, like, where your gun at? Why haven't you shot yourself already? They didn't say that, but that's what it felt
Right,
like.
yeah.
And then Marcus gets on stage and fucking murders.
Oh, God.
Murders.
I wanna-
Murder. Somebody turned around to me and said, see that? That's comedy.
Oh,
I'm like, whoa.
Someone said that?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't know. I just heard that.
Yeah,
Oh,
part
I
of
was
the
just
story.
saving it for a special occasion.
Oh, wow.
And so I was just like, whoa. So it like when people say how y'all deal with like success, like since we've been going at it at the same time, being in a relationship, like taking comedy serious too, like we've never been like an arm length away from each other.
Mm.
And so like we've witnessed us at different levels and how it can just, be and then pursuing it together.
Yeah.
And we see how a lot of people compare us and this and that and all the type of stuff like that. But like, yeah, Chicago, man.
I would like to add to that story, though. That was the last mic we did. So we did probably like 10 mics in 3 days in Chicago. This was the last one we did. You murdered at every other mic
Ugh.
before that, all 9 of them. Literally, you fucking did great at every single one of them.
Allie, you got a woman brain. Do that matter?
No, I know.
I
I was
wouldn't
just
matter.
gonna
And
say,
well,
it
even as a
fucking
comic,
sucks.
even as a comic brain,
Yeah.
I would also have been upset if my last one didn't go the way I wanted to. And that was also our last night there. We drove back to Detroit that night, which is like 4 hours in the car. That
Yeah.
mic, the one on the south side with Just Niche probably ended at like 11. We left at 11. We went up first
So
and then
you
got
were
out of
up
there.
late after.
So yeah, I mean, I drove back 4 hours, and you were just upset the whole time. And I'm over here trying to be like, hey, all these other mics went good, blah blah blah.
Right.
And then I ate 2 edibles that this lady sold me at the show, and those are hitting me. And I'm sleep deprived from sleeping in a van, and I'm driving, and I'm like, fuck. And I know she's upset, and I'm looking at the stars, and I'm like, this is this is a hell of a ride. But yeah.
Actually, that's not the worst ride home we ever had. Though.
Fuck no, not the worst. That's you were bringing up like being with a comic. The worst is when you drive home and one person did great and one person did terrible.
Right.
It like if both people do terrible, it's like, hey, fuck it. We both
Yeah.
sucked. The crowd
Both
sucked.
did great.
It's not
Celebration.
fun.
Yeah.
It's not. But if we don't both do well, that's fun.
And we could.
But if one does good and one does bad, that's always shitty.
It's shitty in the gray area too. You know how it's like you felt like a murder before, and then you felt like a bomb before, and it's like this is neither.
Right.
So I'm just whatever.
Yeah.
What I don't like is sometimes he has like a bad habit of giving me like a weak ass fist bump after the set. Like everybody else gets a, yeah, thank you. And I get a
Yeah, but if I don't feel like if I don't feel good about the set, like if I'm like I don't think that was as good as all these people are saying it was.
Right.
I'm not gonna be like, yeah.
You'll go for the
I'm gonna
flaccid
be
fist
like,
bump.
All right,
Yeah.
But how many times have you listened back to it and be like, wasn't bad.
Right.
No, but I still trust my initial reaction.
Hey, you see me off stage sometimes. Like, somebody came up to me one day and was like, I've seen you murder, and then you get off stage and it's like you have this look of what's next. And sometimes I see you sit back and it looks like you have imposter syndrome.
Right.
And I was like, fuck you. But like I don't know. Don't we all kind of, you know what I mean? Like
I think so. There's also
at least we're not delusional. Like
right.
come off straight bomb. It's like, hey, I think that was pretty good. Like, because we've met some people like that too.
Yeah. There's a lot of people like that. There's so many people who get off. They're like, that wasn't that bad. I'm like, that wasn't bad. And then they're like, oh, I crushed that show. And you're like, did you?
Did you?
I've heard your definitions of different things. And then you said you crushed this show. I need to see this
Did
set.
you record? Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. It's like there's delusional people and everything, but comedy seems to attract them,
Yeah. I do agree with that. And a lot of people might think it's not great that even after a really good set, sometimes we get off stage and we're just still feeling weird. We still feel like we didn't do as much as we could have, even though the audience really liked it. Because there's definitely been plenty of times when I get off stage and I record every set and I'll get off and be like, fuck, that was bad. And then I listen to it and I'm like, actually, they sound pretty into it. Or I'll watch it. I'm like, wow, they're actually louder than I thought. Whatever it was when I was on stage, I just wasn't hearing it. But I think that's kind of a gift too, because it forces you to continue working.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always like the fear or the possible issue of like, sorry, that's a part of The Office. There's always the fear of like plateauing, right? And I think if you have that constant drive to keep pushing, you're not going to do that. There's always something next, and it is good to enjoy the fact that you just had a good set, but it's like that's also not what makes you better.
Well, also sometimes you have a great set and you get off stage and you're like, I'm not getting like 3 bookings coming at me right now. Like,
You're like, wait a second.
Everybody was like, that was a great set. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
give me something. Like, what?
Yeah, where's my next show? Let me know.
The best is like, because I sell koozies after shows. It's like my merch. They're $1 and fucking like. Sometimes I'll have like a good ass set and I'll have my koozies out. I'm like, I'm gonna sell some koozies today. And all these people who are like laughing super hard, they'll walk by, hey, you're super funny, man. I really like your set. I'm like, thanks. And they fucking leave. I'm like, buy one.
Right.
Don't fist bump me. Don't be like, hey man, you were super funny. I'm like, fucking buy something. But,
right.
What are you gonna do?
Do you have any merch that you sell after
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I'm working on it, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta put in a merch. I'm almost done with koozies. I have like 40 left, and then I'm fucking done with them forever. And then we gotta order some new stuff. I don't know. What are you trying? You want shirts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get some shirts for her. And I don't know what I'm gonna do. I used to do lighters, and then that's just a bitch to carry around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just all these lighters, and then I was like, I'm gonna go with something lightweight, like koozies.
Right.
And then I realized, you know what? Not everyone likes koozies.
Texas loves koozies, though.
Yeah, that's true. I did a show yesterday, and I had a great time selling koozies after.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had a real good. I had a good set, but then the koozies were even better.
Right.
So that's what it is. But
that's cool. Do you guys like do you guys try to book like road gigs together at all? Like, do you reach out to clubs or do you have agents that'll reach out to clubs for you to try and book one or both of you? Because I just feel like you're together, you're both funny. That
We
would
are-
be a really cool.
Yeah, we try to do as many shows together as we can. But we don't have an agent. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just us booking. If someone reaches out to one of us, we try to get the other person on the show. If we're booking stuff out of town, we're like, hey, it's both of us. We're both
Right.
coming. We'd both like to do time on the show or whatever it is. So, yeah, but we don't have anyone doing it for us.
Yeah. I just picture that as being something super cool because you're already used to being together. You're both do stand up. You're both about to get new merch. Like, that would be so fun to just like, even just self book a couple, stops along
Yeah.
Texas or whatever.
I mean, we've been doing that for like the last 2-3 years,
Yeah.
basically doing road gigs all over Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, and then when we came down here, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Austin. We got San Antonio coming up on the 3rd of October.
Nice.
We've done San Antonio a couple times. I mean, so we've done a lot of road gigs together for
Yeah.
sure. It's and that's the thing where it's like you go and do a road gig, you're each doing longer sets. One might do well, one might do bad, and then you got to drive 3 hours back
Right.
or stay in a shitty hotel, or everyone crushes and it's great. A lot of times, like road gigs work out well because you're in a small town that doesn't have any entertainment, so
Doesn't
they're
get
fucking
stuff.
excited. You know what I'm saying? Some of those redneck crowds they can be fun. You know what I'm saying? They can be a little fun. I don't know though. How do you feel about the redneck crowds?
Well, I feel like the Texas rednecks might be different than the North rednecks, but I don't know. Like, you guys got to hit a lot more states up north
What
than
would
when
you
you've
say?
been in Texas.
I don't know. Everything that I have to say about that is inappropriate.
I was about to be like, they're all white people. They are, yeah.
They
I mean,
are. I mean,
north, south,
I
east,
was gonna
west.
say
As long as you're not on the coasts and you're not like in a city,
my
it's
parents
like,
are from upstate New York. I get northern rednecks.
oh yeah,
Like,
northern rednecks.
That's a thing.
It's crazy,
They're
like in-
all
the further north you go in Michigan, the more of a southern accent people have for no reason. You're like, why the fuck do you sound like this? You live in fucking Michigan, like northern Michigan.
Right.
Welcome to what you gonna do? But they laugh loud.
yeah.
Rednecks laugh really loud. Like black people laugh the loudest, and it's like rednecks. Latino crowds have been cool. There's not a lot of Mexican people in Michigan, so that was
Right.
new when we came down here.
Latino crowds are so fun. What's
Yeah.
crazy is like, because you mentioned like bombing in front of a mostly black crowd, and then like, what's interesting is like, I don't think a lot of people understand that just the demographics of the room change the vibe so much. Because if it's a mostly black room, they're gonna tell you what they really think. If you're funny, they will laugh the loudest. If you
Yeah.
bomb, they will glare at you and give you death threats.
Yeah.
But then like white people, it's like even if they're having the time of their life, they're still repressed a little bit.
Yeah,
unless
like
they're
in
rednecks.
the urban or the
the city.
areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
then
like,
Latino crowds just want to have fun. They're like,
yeah, they just want to have fun. I've never done an Asian crowd. You ever done an
Yeah.
Asian crowd?
I'm sure like the closest thing that we've done to an Asian crowd is like something in Ann Arbor, maybe.
Yeah, but that
Mm.
wasn't an Asian crowd. There were just Asian people there.
And that's
Yeah,
the closest
some.
you're gonna get.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, but I mean, there are like Asian crowds. Like
Yeah, I mean,
Ken
there's
Jeong. You watch
definitely-
Ken Jeong's special. It's like he has a full Asian crowd,
For
and you're like, I
sure.
would like to try that out. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. It is interesting, but it's also just like learning how to develop jokes good enough that they're universally funny.
That's
You
the best thing
know?
about doing every room. Is like you
Right.
figure out, like if you do a joke and it crushes in the black room, it crushes in the country hick white room, it crushes in the super, we're all woke hipster Austin, we work at Tesla room. Like if it works in all those rooms, it's a good joke. And then you do it at an open mic in front of 40 comics and none of them
And
laugh at
they
it.
don't laugh.
I'm like, fuck you guys.
Right.
You guys are just jealous you didn't come up with it, and that's all it is. But yeah, sometimes those are the worst rooms, is all comics.
All
That's
comics.
nothing worse than all comics. I'd
They
rather
don't
do
wanna
chairs
laugh.
sometimes
Yeah.
than all comics, but yeah, I don't know.
That's funny. I wanted to pivot the conversation a little bit because both of you guys have done some really cool stuff in the comedy world. I know you've gotten open for Joe Rogan recently. Can you like walk through like how did you even get in contact with him and what was that like for you?
I was recommended by Tony Hinchcliffe to Joe to open, and Usually I get like, if Tony wants me to do a show, I usually get like a last minute, maybe like a few hours before the show, come do the show type text
Yeah.
or DM. And so I think I got a little bit more time to do that one. So I was pretty grateful for that. I was like,
Right.
thanks for giving me a little bit more
Like
of a
the
heads
day
up.
before or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and so not only did the first time I got to open for him, he was like super cool. Been talking shit about my fanny pack since day one. But he was like, yeah, it's super cool. You know, I'll bring you one of mine and da da da. But not only did, I get to open for him, I got to meet and bring up people like Tim Dillon and Giannis Papas and
Oh, that's the week you
and
did it.
I got to meet Ari Shafir. I got to meet like, just
Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis, like he was the guest for the first Kill Tony I did. It's just
Right, yeah. Didn't he do one of the Joe Rogan shows too?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then it was crazy lineup, and just to be a part of that, I was just like, fuck yeah, cold open. Like
Right.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, this is crazy because like before I started taking comedy seriously and like, I knew who Joe Rogan was,
Right.
but to say like, oh, I can tell you what episode of his podcast he said what and this and this and that and know all the quotes and
Right.
inside jokes, like it was all I'm learning all this because like I knew a lot more mainstream people and black people like
Right.
as far as comedians and stuff goes. So
Right.
I don't know, it was just insane, and like sometimes I have to ask him to read messages because, like, I'm like, sometimes I don't trust myself.
You're like, who just DM'd me?
I'm being treated for bipolar, and sometimes I'll just be like, it's not like schizophrenia where you're hearing voices, but it's just like I don't believe my own shits. Like this is not, it's real.
So it feels like, so sometimes if something so good happens, you're like, wait, can I actually trust this excitement right now?
Yeah, you talk about, you said earlier something about the plateau.
Yeah.
It's been crazy because I've been feeling like it's been a roller coaster. My hands is up. Patrice O'Neal said it best, where it's like you're on this roller coaster and your hands is up and you enjoying the ride, but at the same time, like all your shit flying out your pocket and you don't have control over shit, and you get off and this, I don't know. I think there's more good stuff to come. I think we're both gonna be involved in some shit. It's just it's a matter of when and being patient and writing in the meantime and staying to the grind in the meantime, because technically speaking, I feel like they've done so much for me already that if they never do another fucking thing, that I still should be grateful,
Right.
and I should be able to use it somehow. But I don't know. I'm in a weird grateful place, but I never imagined that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially so soon after like deciding to move to Texas of all places. I mean, you guys were going to do the LA thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's
Yeah.
even crazier is I'm seeing so many more people get what I would call like Hollywood dream scenario. Like so many local comedians that have moved here since kind of comedy moved here.
Mhm.
It's like more people than ever are getting those like epic Hollywood opportunities that everyone dreams about getting when they go to LA. But like
LA's so oversaturated with people.
Yeah.
So it's harder for the LA system to find the talent. It's harder for the talent to stand out. And then even when it happens, there's already so many established people at different levels
right.
that it's harder to fly up the ladder.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in Austin, it's just turned into this like comedy hub.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these areas in the ladder or whatever aren't really filled.
Right.
So they're looking for people, right? And
Yeah.
that's the point is like, hey, he was like, everyone come to Austin. We're going to do this comedy thing in Austin. It's like,
Right.
so of all the people who have moved here, plus all the people who are already here, it's kind of like, okay, level playing field, go.
Let's see
And
what's happening.
Yeah. So it's, I think it's the cream rising to the top, right? Is
Right.
that the
the
phrase?
cream rising to the top.
Yeah.
I think
Sounds dirty.
You made it 30. I didn't even do the porn voice. I just said cream rises to the top.
I need to hear the porn voice now.
Nah. No. That's for later.
Cream rises to the top, y'all.
No, that's what? No, I don't do it in German. Hey, you want me to?
No, I'm
Okay.
good.
all right.
I do appreciate what you said with that, though. Is like I think a major thing with something like comedy or any art really is like you get these awesome experiences that like I cannot believe I'm here right now. Even like if I'm just hanging out at Vulcan and I look around for 20 seconds and see how many people are there, my mind is blown constantly because I'm like, Austin's my hometown. Like I'm sitting here in Austin. I didn't have to do shit. All these people just came here doing this thing that I love so much.
Mm.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that you get these opportunities. Like you've been mentioned on Rogan's podcast several times and like you got to open for him and meet all these people, but it's like you still need to keep working on it. And that's I think a really necessary thing to get your head around because I think so many people will get one amazing opportunity, they'll live it up, they'll do great, and then like it is quiet for a little bit afterwards and it's kind of like, oh shit, what's coming next, you know? And you just have to keep working and trust that the work will pay for itself eventually.
Mhm.
That's a really
Figuring out how to make it sustainable.
Right.
You know, it's like there's a lot of waves in comedy. And everything, it's all waves, right? But
Mhm.
in comedy specifically, it's like when you hit the up, you're like, sweet, and then there's gonna be a down.
right.
Can you get yourself through that down and into the next up? That's
Yeah.
the thing. That's easier said than done.
I
but
like that a
you can do
lot.
it.
And it's you also have an Amazon special, right?
Yes.
When did that happen? And like
They filmed it October 2019. It was supposed to come out right around like the new year 2020.
mhm.
And then the production took a little longer, and then the pandemic happened, and it ended up getting released like April 2020.
Okay.
So it's been out for about a year and some change. And that was like a last minute thing where the production company had a deal with Amazon. They had a lineup of comics, and then a couple of them dropped out, and they needed to add a comic. And I knew one of the girls who was going to
On
be
it.
featured on it, so she recommended me. And then I got to do it, and it was cool. Yeah, it was an interesting experience.
So is that like an Amazon production? Like
It was a third-party studio
party.
did it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a third-party studio out of Detroit. They were highlighting Detroit comics.
mm,
I had just come back from LA. I was out there for like a month. Before I moved there, I'd gone out there for a month. And then when I came back to Michigan, that's when they were planning that whole thing. And one of the comics, T-Barb, she's a Detroit comic. She had been like, yeah, he was out in LA doing all this thing, you know. So she recommended me, and I got to do it from that. So it's
that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Black Thanksgiving, but you gotta look up Getting Off. That's the name of the series.
Okay.
And then there's like 5 different specials on there. I think I'm episode 4 or something like that. So
Nice.
yeah, you can check it out.
That's really cool. Like I feel like have we done a show together? We did like the pre-show secret show or something.
Potentially.
I don't
Yes.
know, but
R.I.P.
I know, whatever. Honestly, Nether Hour is way better before Secret Show. But I didn't even know that you had a special on Amazon until like Brandon Lewin with Big Laugh told me
Yeah,
a couple weeks ago. So
What am I
that's
gonna?
really
I
awesome.
don't walk around and go like, "Hey, I have a special on Amazon
Right.
Prime. This is my girlfriend. She's opened up for Joe Rogan." You know,
Right.
like that'd be weird. That'd
No,
be weird
for
to walk.
sure.
I mean, maybe you want to start doing that. You wanna start walking around like that. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna go well.
It's just funny because like I always feel like the comedians that have actual credits like that don't want to talk about like even if
Yeah.
I'm introing them at a show, I'll be like, what do you want me to say when I bring you up? And they'll just be like, I live here now. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, like it's cool. That's really, really awesome.
Well, that's like I think it depends on the show. Like when people ask you what to say when they bring you up.
Sometimes I just tell people to say I'm from the east side of Detroit, but the reaction I get to that is like a wounded puppy. Like,
oh,
you're here now.
oh
Who
welcome.
hurt you?
The east side of Detroit. It's like, so I'm trying to intro.
That's who hurt me.
Who I am. Yeah. But I mean, I think for me, it's like it depends on the show. Like if it's like a showcase with 8 audience members,
Right.
and half of them aren't paying attention, I'm
You're
not
like-
gonna be like, yeah, give them all the credits.
Don't
Have you
don't
ever-
hype them up.
Have you ever felt like when you tell people not to say your credits for real, and they kind of get sad? like they wanted to say it because they like.
Then I don't care if they know them already and they're
Right.
like, so you want me to, I'm like, all right, yeah. I'm
Right.
not gonna stop you from saying it.
I have seen that happen before though, where they're just like so excited that they booked
Yeah.
someone from Comedy Central or whatever, and then they're not allowed to say it.
Well, I would be like, just fucking say it. If
Right.
you're that excited that you booked someone with a credit, say it.
Yeah.
It's your show,
Right.
right?
I'd be so happy if I'm hosting and I remember everybody credits to the T, and I'd be so excited. I try to hype it all up, but then like Tony Hinchcliffe, who gave me like so many opportunities in Red Band, like they tell me to bring them up, and they like, hey, just say ladies and gentlemen name. I'm like, really,
You're like,
bro?
but you did so many cool
Right.
things.
I'm about to get up there and pour my heart
But a
out
lot
and
of
cry.
times, that's
And he
like, it's
"Ladies and
his
gentlemen."
audience,
I
right? They
know.
know
Yeah.
who he is. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I think they're probably just like, just bring me up. It'll be
Right.
more epic if you just say Tony Hinchcliffe. And they're like,
Right.
"Ah," you know.
I get that though.
Future godfather of my children. Ladies and
Tony
gentlemen.
Hinchcliffe. All right.
Dude, this Lucas McCrary always tells everyone to bring him up as his best friend. There's like my best friend Lucas. I went up before him one time and he told me to bring him up like that afterwards. And then like of course he roasted me for it as soon as he went on stage. And then afterwards I've seen him like week after week at Secret Show. He always gets the person before him to say, my best friend Lucas. And it's like, why didn't I catch this?
I mean, that is an opportunity to set it up the way you want, right?
Yeah.
If you can just shit on the person before you for how they brought you up, like, you are in control, right?
Yeah.
You wanna be able to do it exactly how you want to do it. It's like, I want you to bring me up with some bullshit, and then I can riff off that, and then it'll go into this joke, and then,
Yeah. Do you guys write together? Do you write similarly, like have similar methods for how you write, or do you kind of try and
For the most part, every time we write, it turns into a fight.
Oh, really? Because you like because you have
I'll
different
write something I
angles?
thought was funny, and then she'll get mad, and then I'll be like, okay, so don't do that joke. It's like, obviously not.
Like we get into it over handwriting.
So we have a
Oh.
whiteboard. You have a whiteboard, like a big whiteboard, and you always like writing on that.
Oh, I like that.
And I have shitty handwriting, so it ends up getting real big. And then you get mad at me for how big the handwriting is, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I have bad handwriting. And you're like, well, just make it better. I'm like, it's always been bad. And then you're getting at my insecurity about my handwriting, and then we're not even talking about the joke
joke.
anymore. We're just talking about like, why do you take up so much space? And I'm like, because I have bad handwriting. And it's like, why do you have bad handwriting? Because I just never focused on it in school, and it just, yeah. So sometimes that happens, but other times, well, like we haven't done it in a while. The bucket poll thing.
Yeah, we usually do that with other people. We haven't
Yeah.
written with other people in a minute. But yeah, like subjects out of hat,
Yeah.
riff and see was there something there. And, all
That's
different types of
Yeah,
ways.
that can be good. Like everyone writes a topic on a little slip of paper. You drop it in a cup, and go around. You riff for a minute. and
Right.
If
See
it's
what
funny,
comes
you write
out.
it down. If it's not, you just keep going.
Yeah.
That's fun. I like doing that.
I like the whiteboard idea though. It sounds like it could be a good way to kind of like because for me, I just like put as much as I can out of the idea. I try to write as many angles as possible so I could see myself just using a
Yeah.
whiteboard to like draw a web or something.
I mean, we do set lists.
Yeah, the web idea is exactly why I wanted to get it, because I was like, maybe I'm just gonna be like a beautiful mind effect.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just
Yep.
Marcus wakes up and just see equations and shit. It's like
I wake up and see all
Right.
kinds of shit on there. I'm like, I'm going back to bed. I
He
just see
wakes
like
up
white
and he's
man
like,
in the corner, this shit in there. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. I'm
he's like, good
oh,
handwriting. I
fucking
can't deal with this shit. I'm going back to sleep.
That, and I'm just
But
like,
what it turned out to end up is just helping me out a lot with set lists. Like if, especially if we're a longer set, like it helps me memorize it and break it down in ways that helps me,
and we do
retain
that
it
together
better.
a lot. Like
Yeah.
we'll write set lists more, and be like, all right, so this is what I'm gonna
Which is
do.
a bigger piece than I think a lot of people realize is like figuring out which order the jokes should go in and how to like connect them or not. That was something I heard when Nate Bargatze came through headlining a few months ago at Creek. Someone that was featuring for him, I think it was Chris Tellez, was featuring for him, and he goes, "Yeah, every single show, Nate like knew what jokes he wanted to do, but he was in the green room rearranging it because he was just testing to see like what the final hour is." And I think that's really important.
Yeah, and then you figure out like, well, you like to do this. You like to open with your closer sometimes.
Just, I got that from Louis C.K. Just, he said, just fuck yourself over one day and just see if you can get out, like,
So just open so big that like
I mean, I have like now I have a few jokes that I would continuously use as closers. But, sometimes I won't even close on a joke. It's just, it was something random or, I don't know. But what he just opened up to me by suggesting that is that you can play with it however you want.
Yeah.
And, it's your show, you know what I mean? For
Yeah.
however minutes you're on there.
Mm.
Which after hearing that and I would think that I would be more creative with it. People always ask me like, who are your top inspirations in comedy? And Whoopi Goldberg is definitely top 3.
I love that.
Her Broadway special, like all those different characters. I don't looking to do impressions or characters, but just more how artistic you can get with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got a ways to go, but yeah, for right now, writing set lists like that helps me kind of get through and just have a game plan going in.
I totally noticed you doing that at Sunset Strip. I hosted that all-female show that you were on, and I was giggling because
I was wondering why I wasn't booked on that, but okay, all right.
Well, I was giggling because when I was asking everyone, when do you want the light? Genevieve had 15, and she was like, just light me right at 15. I'll just walk off stage. And I was like, what a fucking baller, dude. Like when she said, and it was hilarious because as soon as I gave her the light, she was like finishing a really funny line anyway. And she just finished it and was like, all right, thanks guys, bye. And I was like, what a flex. And now I know what you were doing. That's awesome.
Very well timed. She's,
Right? Yeah.
really good at that, like sticking to the script.
This is the only compliment he's ever going to give me about time. So make sure this is in the records.
You're very timely on stage. Super punctual with your punchlines.
Oh, okay, guys.
I mean, it's like you are really good at like boom, 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 sticking to the script. You never go long unless they don't light you. You know what I'm saying? Like you're really good at just.
Well, that's very professional too.
Yeah, she's very professional
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
and punctual.
Charlie was waving at me to wrap it up. I usually finish with one final question. What are you guys excited about? It can literally be anything, comedy or otherwise. But
Just this time right now, like, even though like my calendar may not be like booked months in advance, like when the weeks occur, like it's always exciting. Like every time I see the little Instagram notification, like I'm like some shit might pop off today. Like you never know. In this life, this is anxious. Like it has me anxious, but I'm very excited, and for whatever it's worth. Like I'm glad to be here in this time and to witness what I'm witnessing and be a part of it. Like I know it's like a little tension. It may not even be. This may be fake news, but like I hear people say like, "Oh, the old scene versus the new scene," and the people coming in and this and this and that. What I've gotten has been all love, and I just I hope that everybody get a little taste of that, and I feel like it's enough to go around. So.
yeah, absolutely. I love that. You got
I'm
anything?
excited for the new merch that we're gonna
The new
get. All right, whenever we
merch.
get that, it's gonna be real exciting. So check it out.
Hell yeah. Well, that being said, where can people find you guys? Upcoming shows? Anything you want to plug?
October 3rd in San Antonio, and then there's another. You're doing October 3rd also in Austin, right?
Yes, Vulcan that night.
Okay, yeah. So October 3rd for sure.
I'm not really into sports, but like what I'm also excited for is that like something like a draft pick is coming up soon for me. Like there's been talks of like scouts. There've been talks of like agents and shit. So there might be a couple to check me out, and let's hope that Joe Rogan remembers my fanny pack and helps me retire this whack one that he also said in the shout out. And
I got you that fanny pack in LA too.
I've been sewing and trying to hold on to it. That's why I'm like, I don't think it's whack. It holds my things.
Yeah.
But and hopefully, Red Band Tony and a whole bunch of other people, the opportunities keep coming and keep flowing, and we keep showing up and doing what we're supposed to do.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys so much for doing the show.
Yeah,
I
we
really,
appreciate
really
it.
appreciate having you on.
Sorry for the first couple attempts.
It was all good. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been DeTalks with Allison.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks, LA.